Come one, come all, and welcome to the Mobafire Challenger Series. I am Studio, being joined by the wonderful Lunette the Herald. I said it again, Herald. Got it this time. How you doing?
I'd be doing better if you quit messing up my name every time we had a chat studio.
It's all good. It's all good. Now,
Oh man, anyway, so they can all see the game on stream, right? We're all good to go now.
I think we are. Let's go ahead. Just check one quick thing. Slap on those blockers. Don't want anybody. And I trust the team, but just in case, make sure no one knows about any sort of sneaky summoner spells going on. But we got Aware Gaming versus New World Eclipse. Aware Gaming, formerly the Salad Bar, they qualify or tried to qualify for the LCS back in January, and at the most recent relegations in May. Unfortunately, weren't able to make it either time. But these are the team normal stars. These are the guys that play lots of normal games, and I love them. Yahamda is a fantastic player and a fantastic person. On the other side, we got New World Eclipse, which features JD Wu, Shao, Virus, Quas. These are all, I'd say, really popular names. These guys have been maybe not necessarily on teams, though most of them have. In the case of Quas, he's just been more of a solo queue superstar, but just a really solid player.
Absolutely, and I'm just double checking. This sound level's just a little bit better for the stream. Or so I'm hoping. But we've got Draven, Gragas, and Jayce being banned out on the part of the blue team, and then Twisted Fate, Kennen, and Nunu on the part of the purple team. Now, Aware actually going to be playing yet another game after this one, so I'm really excited to see how they're going to do going up against two very high-ranking teams tonight.
I believe Aware had some issues last night, which is why we're moving the fifth game to tonight. Want to make sure the teams are able to play in working condition. Don't want any of those crazy, four subs, one player game going on where, well, I mean, they're fun to watch, but they're not necessarily competitive.
Absolutely. Now, first pick coming out, we're actually going to see Thresh being pulled onto the part of the blue team immediately. No real surprise there. He's very contested in terms of both picks and bans. And we've generally seen him picked in, I'd say the majority of the matches we've seen over the last week and a half in MCS. It's constantly seen in high level tiers of play, LCS, and just about any other tournament you can imagine. So there's no real surprise coming out from the blue team yet.
It's the standard pick. It doesn't reveal anything. It reveals that, if you get kills in lane, it'll be awesome, but he's such a versatile pick. Even if you don't get those kills in lane, you have the use of Death Sentence later on for those picks. You have the Lantern for those escape, or possibly to set up those picks, so it just opens up so many different options. Same time, Elise, Renekton, kind of the same deal. What does Renekton reveal? You love characters that are good at the game. Same thing with Elise. They're versatile. I guess we know Jungle Elise, I guess, but that's still not a big deal. It's still such a safe jungler, so many good ganks. It doesn't mean a lot necessarily.
Yeah, but what the Shyvana and Oriana pick does mean is that the blue team is going to be going for a very AoE based comp. They're going to be looking to dive in with that Shyvana ultimate and then immediately place a command shockwave onto the opposing team, which is going to be really interesting considering both Elise and Renekton are going to have to get in range to really dive into those backline carries, whether they want to go in with Slice and Dice or try and come in with the Repel. At some point, they're going to have to be in range for that Shyvana ultimate and shockwave combo.
I had to double check. Let's make sure Shyvana is Shyvana. Of course, Shyvana was recently remade, and it's fun to see just recently changed characters in action. So we'll see what they can do over on Aware Gaming. I got the F yeah coming from Yahamda with confirmation. And yeah, it's a sweet combo. Shyvana Oriana, that was the standard for such a long time. It's like that is what you do. Shyvana ball onto Oriana ball onto Shyvana, and then you start the fight. And that's old stuff coming back in. And I kind of like the resurgence. I like that we don't forget those old trends as casters and players. Now, Vayne, Nami being picked up in response. Solid pickup, of course. Nami provides move speed boost, helps keep Vayne alive, and just her solid laning, her solid CC. She is a jack of all trades, and now she's become a relative master at all of them. Relative.
Yeah, something that I was actually discussing earlier while I was casting other games earlier today was actually that Nami and Vayne has become one of the bot lane combos that actually has one of the higher win percentages right now. They just synergize so well between having that slow, which by the way sets up condemns beautifully. You've got the stun coming out from Nami as well as the slow. You've got the knockups. There's a lot of ability to both save and harass because of Vayne's short range. It makes landing ebb and flow a lot easier in an aggressive manner.
It does, and it's cool to see Vayne being played as not necessarily an all-in mid laner, but or mid laner all-in AD carry, but as someone who can play so aggressively in lane. And it's because her damage has always been high, but her spells never were that high DPS, and I like to counter that off. Like, she can deal damage, but she won't necessarily get extra spells for that DPS like Graves. But once she goes all in, if you can't get her off a target, if you can't get her to stop DPSing that one single target that has silver bolts on it, that character is going to die, or have to flash underneath the turret and just pray she can't dive. It's cool to see that really being enforced. Nami, like you said, just so much is set up. The rest of the team, though, so this is Oriana team. This is actually Shyvana-centric team, because Oriana works off Shyvana. Shen can work really well off Shyvana. I really want to see how these team fights go. If Aware Gaming gets ahead, then we're going to see Shyvana ult in, Shen ult onto her, Oriana bolt start that taunt to just keep everybody close together. At the same time, collateral damage explodes off to the side, a baby cries in Denver, everything just goes terribly wrong for New World Eclipse.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, one of the things to keep in mind is that the blue team, while they've got this idealistic comp where they're going to be able to essentially throw everything they have all at once to the enemy team, you're looking at a situation where the enemy team has Nami, and she's very, very powerful in terms of her disengage. You've got a lot of escape coming out from Tumble, Repel. You've got Karthus, who just pretty much just a suicide machine, but at the same time, he does have his wall, which is going to allow his team as a whole to help get out of there. You've got Slice and Dice coming out from Renekton. Overall, if they go in for that straight dive with Shyvana, there is a huge chance that a lot of it is going to be disrupted because of this Nami and because of the champions they're choosing on that other team.
Now, I believe Shyvana's ultimate can still be interrupted, right? I don't think that was changed.
I am actually not sure.
I want to say it wasn't changed, which is interesting because that means there are a total of 3 ways that ultimate can be stopped. 2 of them come from the Nami pick itself. Nami's ultimate, like you mentioned, it's a knock-up. Her bubble, though, at least this is how it worked last time I saw it, land on a target like this, will interrupt players in motion. It's not a knock-up, but it can still interrupt a movement spell, like a knock-up could. And it's going to be interesting to see if Ghost Zero can actually get into a fight as Shyvana. And kind of the same thing, Virus can always just condemn him out of the air, just shooting dragons out of the sky, a very Vayne thing to do. Hopefully, he's using the Dragon Slayer Vayne skin. He better be, because it's just so appropriate.
Absolutely. I mean, no, this is one of those games where, yeah, laning phase is going to be interesting and we might see some action in it, but the best parts of this game is going to come from the team fights. Hands down, having those, everybody go head to head in that full-on 5v5, whether it's over Baron or Dragon or under a tower, it is going to be the most exciting thing that we will probably see all week. These are 2 very all-in compositions. Renekton and Elise wanting to dive into the back line. Karthus is going to want to stand in front of everybody, essentially still being that suicide machine. Vayne is going to run around and do her thing. Like, need I even explain how Vayne works in these team fights? And of course, Nami is going to do what Nami does best recently and is provide that disruption. The blue team, they're just going to dive in on everything. But more so than that, I'm interested to see how this bot lane is going to go. When we take a look at the summoner spells, we can see JD Wu picking up that Ignite again, whereas Karthus has decided to take that Exhaust. So I'm really interested to see what is going to happen, simply because Exhaust might be difficult for Karthus. Oriana farms quite a bit at a distance, and if they do decide to go in for an all-out engage, Karthus gets really low. He's only going to have one option to really exhaust, and that's somebody who's sitting right on top of him. He's not going to be able to get back and get to Oriana to try and stop her damage in a 1v1 situation. He has to pick up that spell for late game.
All right, well, we're into the loading screen. Got to go ahead. Show you guys some cool stuff from our sponsors, iBuyPower, Fatality, and Razor. We will see you guys in game. That is a sound of pings going off. There are pings going all over the map. Where will the invade be? Welcome back to the Mobafire Challenger Series. Here we are finally in game. Let's see where the action goes.
Absolutely, and I'm just going to take a quick moment to go ahead and line up all of these summoner icons right now so that they're all looking nice and pretty on your stream. In the meantime, it looks like we've just got some defensive warding going on. Blue team, we may see an invade going out at this point. They're all grouped around this brush, potentially looking to go in and spot out that blue. Luckily, Nami's got those defensive wards going down.
And
Apparently
the background noise has
excited.
come. Yeah. A little sister just burst into the room. She is very excited. There was a dog barking, a boom going off, just noise all around. But it looks like it's just a trap being set up by New World Eclipse. Can they spot this out? Both teams just waiting for the engagement, but it may never come. But New World Eclipse is on the move.
Yeah, we may see some action in here as we've got that invade going down now. They're just going to go ahead and group into this brush and really wait it out. Now they should have been spotted out by that ward. You can see the pings going down at this point. It looks like they know exactly where they are. Oh man, this could be a really tense situation. At least about to face check that bush. That death sentence not going to land, so there will be no first blood secured. Unfortunately, though, Renekton has back, leaving a 4v5 situation here at the blue team's red buff. And it looks like they're just going to go ahead and back off here. Shyvana looking to cut him off. The pink ward's going down, and it looks like only Thresh and his team are going to have vision on that as they... What, everybody's moving around this red buff still. Shen looking to come in, that orb going down onto him. They're going to get the taunt off, and there we go. There's the Aqua person coming out from Nami. A flash coming out. Nami getting down very low, wanting to just get her rear end out of there now. Elise getting caught out here as well. They're looking to add on a little bit of extra damage to her at this point. Cloud doing his best to get out, but it may not be enough. Another shield coming out from Oriana before the complete disengage.
A crazy fight. No one dying somehow in all of that.
I don't even.
And not even that many flashes blown, I believe, across the board. It's only 4 flashes and an ignite going down. And for both sides, I think no one had really lockdown CC. You know, for example, Ghost Zero, he can chase people down kind of quickly. Shen has the brief taunt, but it's only a second and a half, I believe. Just double check that. Could be 2 seconds. Just a second and a half. And there wasn't any follow-up CC afterwards. Thresh didn't land the death sentence. Now this side has had as much lockdown as they'd want. So, weird as it was, it worked out pretty easily. His boss taking a lot of tower damage. Did get the free time up in top lane. Able to push it up, and now he's trying to be a very annoying Croc.
Yeah, that's one of the huge benefits that that the red team got out of this. Ware's looking at a situation where Shen wasn't able to get back to lane as quickly as Renekton did, so now he's going to be a bit further behind, but this shouldn't impact him too much. He looks to be doing fairly well farming. At the moment, he's a little bit behind, but that's mostly because of the delay into lane. He's only down a little bit of experience, so hopefully he can get back up in this game, or else Ware is going to really need some assistance from that jungler.
Vayne caught up in the bot lane, though. This ain't looking good for him.
Yeah, and we've got Graves popping his barrier right now. You can see those procs of Silver Bolts going down, but it's not going to be enough. Vayne now looking to get that third hit down onto Thresh. Will connect, but unfortunately not enough damage to kill her and not enough damage to take out Graves.
RKZ Slash on his own actually got Vayne back into the lane, playing Graves, just because his high damage onto Virus means it's now a fairly even lane. Now it's down to whoever lands the first CC. Vayne does have barrier up though, so she can win that 1v1 engagement, or even possibly the 2v2, just from that extra bit of HP.
Yeah, the added benefit here is the fact that Nami, she does have that sustain. She's got an extra mana potion on her as well as that biscuit, so she's looking pretty good right now in keeping Vayne nice and healthy. Unfortunately, she's taking a lot of damage here. That's probably the one downside to Nami, is that she kind of falls in that same category that Sona does. She is exceptionally squishy, and if she gets caught out, she's most likely going to die.
Things onto the top lane from New World Eclipse themselves. I think they expect the Shyvana gank as she, well, just head right there that second.
Graves is going to go ahead and get stunned. We see the death sentence slamming down onto Nami. She's going to get really low, and there we go. First blood going to Thresh. Vayne coming in and managing to get the revenge kill down onto Graves, and it looks like Thresh is just going to have to back out of here. So that initial first blood gold going to go ahead and go to Thresh.
So a very slight advantage in terms of overall gold coming out for Aware, but Vayne gets the kill. Vayne's getting the farm. RKZ Slash now in danger. Vayne does have flash up. She actually might have been able to go for that kill as RKZ Slash had nothing available himself, but not going for the risky tower dive, and now this is just a chance for him to free farm, push up the wave, and try to deny us some experience as Hirishin up top lane. that early disadvantage is kind of coming into play. 22 to 32 CS this game. Not the first time we've seen a Renekton really get into a dominant position tonight. This is... I'd be a little bit worried about the possibility of Vayne just snowballing off that one kill, because a lot of experience just got denied. Graves finally turning back the lane. It's going to be up to Thresh, up to ArcZ/ to start making some big plays.
Absolutely. At this point in time, I mean, they really need the crowd control to be locked down onto Vayne more so than Nami. To go ahead and get a handle on this lane, Graves is really going to have to concentrate on getting that heavy CS, trying to pick up a few kills so he can go ahead and essentially go toe-to-toe with Vayne, which is going to be difficult even if he does come out on top of her in this laning phase. And it looks like we've actually got Shyvana going in here into the enemy jungle. Elise in a world of trouble right now. Now Go Zero is trying to do his best to get out. Unfortunately, that exhaust is down, and you can see the orb coming out from Oriana. You got that shield going on, and is just enough to go ahead and keep him alive and deter the enemy team from continuing that pursuit.
The pause does come out. Go ahead, slap on pause blocker, make sure the teams can't do anything sort of suspicious or sneaky. Now, so Thresh is cool, because Thresh can, if he gets first blood or if he gets a kill in lane, he can actually make up for it. Someone like Sona, for example, she'll get tanky, but she's still never tanky enough to really do anything major in the lane. But now Thresh, with that early first blood, he can go for those auto attack harass exchanges. He can really try and take down Nami. And when Graves hits level 6, that's their chance to really make up for the weakness in laning. Because Graves' burst combo combined with the fact that Thresh is going to be a little bit tankier than you'd expect him to be means that Thresh can survive any sort of beating, and then if he lands a death sentence, that's the full Graves burst combo and a Thresh that will not die, just raining down on one person. Most likely a Nami, because man, it is not easy to hit Vayne with death sentences.
Not at all. Nami's a bit slower. She's not going to be really investing early into that move speed. So we'll have to see sort of how this works out for New World Eclipse right now, because they're looking at a situation where they've got that initial kill onto Vayne. She's doing well in the lane. CS is even. She's obviously coming out on top of gold compared to Graves, though it's not too much at this point. This is certainly something that could snowball, especially once she hit level 6, if she's able to continue the lane dominance that she's had previously.
And of course, Vayne getting out of control, that has been the story of a lot of games recently. So, you know, I like Vayne plays, but at the same time, I want to see that person that just stomps into Vayne. I want to see the Vayne counter. And Graves Thresh has got a lot of potential, but it's got to reach that point first. Karthus mid lane versus Oriana, CS 25 on Karthus to 35 on Oriana. That is, I'd say, eHamda at work. Can't really check. Oh, I can check. He's not running 80 runes this game. This makes a little bit of sense because Oriana does have the scaling AP ratio for her auto attack for a long time, for a very long time. eHamd was known as the guy who ran 80 runes on every single AP mid, just for the early lane dominance. And I'm not surprised to see eHamd ahead in lane just because that's how he plays. He is probably one of the harder mid lanes to beat out there.
Yeah, it's a really sound science when you go ahead and take a look at the fact that, I mean, back in Season 2 and even early Season 3, when it was very standard to have solely those AP carries in mid, not like Kha'Zix and Jayce like we see more often today. Running those AD marks gives an advantage simply because you're not going to be speccing into armor. You don't expect your enemy to be speccing into any kind of armor when they're going into that mid lane. That auto attack harass, especially pre-level 6, can be absolutely devastating. And on someone like Oriana, just even worse. So I'm not surprised to see the lane going the way it is right now. Karthus a little bit behind on farm, but Shen and Renekton are kind of in a similar situation right now, where Renekton is certainly ahead of Shen. Granted, he did go back, and it has given Shen the ability to catch up now.
And of course, when it comes to like a Karthus versus a Shen, like how they're doing relatively, Shen can fall behind in CS. He's still useful. You know, he might go from the Shen that is super tanky and just takes all the damage to the Shen that will, you know, ult in, taunt, and die. But he still gets a taunt off. He still gets some CC. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to life. So we're caught up with the action. Take down that map blocker. You can see the mini map now. Okay, guys.
Anyways, you were saying?
I'm saying, well, pings on the mid lane. There are just lots of crazy pings. Okay, no, they just want Cloud Titus to hold the CS, I believe. But yeah, Shen, if Shen doesn't get farm, it's not great, but it's okay. He can still put out some okay damage, but he gets the taunt off, he gets the CC off, very importantly. He's useful. If a Karthus doesn't get farm, I mean, his options, especially in the mid game, are spend a bunch of time in the mid lane farming, not going towards team fights because he has to catch up, or die, but not the useful die. the less useful dial where he just doesn't do any damage after he dies. He just kind of falls over and tosses out, you know, the weak tropical Skittles, not the really good ones.
Well, I mean, the one benefit he has is that even if he does stay in that mid lane and just farms, he does have that ultimate, that Requiem coming in, and hopefully providing some assistance. So even if he doesn't end up doing too well in this laning phase, he should still have opportunities given to him by his team to either go in for those assists or those kills directly.
Looking up at the top lane, Quas has kind of calmed down a bit. He still has that CS lead, but it's been what he's had for quite a while now. Well, mid lane though, Xiao in some danger. Is Honda going aggressive? Can he fight this back though?
Yeah, that shockwave coming out, followed by the ignite, will be enough, but it doesn't look... Oh, there's the Requiem, and that shield is not going to be up in time, and that is going to be the revenge kill for New World Eclipse. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, we've got a minor skirmish going on. Thresh being caught out here as he's tried to disengage the ignite going down onto Vayne, but it's not going to be enough to take her out.
See Karthus' ultimate, how much damage does it deal? Oh, that was actually a very close kill. I think Honda was probably about 10 or so HP from surviving the ultimate. He just did not have the HP. Go0 though, looking bot lane, not level 6 so he doesn't have that dragon form quite yet. But this is dangerous.
Yeah, and there we go. Vayne's ultimate has been popped. That failed death sentence coming out. That Aqua person not managing to land onto anybody. It looks like Vayne's actually going to get out of here as Elise comes in to defend.
Unfortunately, no skill shots actually landing in that fight, but you know, the aggressive death sentence plays, just the unpredictable movement, it is a very slow spell, and the wind-up time on it is it lets it be very predictable. So unfortunately, no landing skill shots from either side. But you know, this gives a chance for Aware to pressure the turret, for Aware to maybe catch out Karthus, who's kind of in a dangerous position because there's a dragon flying over the wall at him.
Yeah, Shyvana coming in now. You got the damage coming out from that Oriana Q. A flash has been popped on the part of Karthus. It looks like he's going to manage to get out of there. Go0 just deciding to go ahead and leave.
Elise has shown up to try and defend that. Smart play overall, making sure they don't go for those super overzealous dives, as now Go0 might be in a dangerous spot, but the burnout will keep him safe. He's going to go ahead, run on out of that blue buff, keep himself alive, keep himself useful.
Oh man, Karthus just taking so much damage in the mid lane right now. Ihana just doing such a good job of completely zoning him out, denying, I mean, what experience he can given the fact that it is a Karthus. You know, he does have access to those Skittles. He's going to do a decent job farming from far away, even if he is zoned back to his tower.
Ooh, so much damage, you're right. Giles just he's getting trashed in this mid lane. Cloud Titus did try and help defend, but in the end, it's more Oriana poke coming out in response to Xiao. At this point, a full combo could land that kill, but you have to first secure that combo in the first place. Could be a fight over red buff, though.
Here we got a nice little bit of scouting going out on the part of E-Honda right now, and ooh, Shyvana trying to come in here for the steal. She has been caught out. That slice and dice coming in, and she will be stunned. Shen using his ultimate, but it is not enough. Will not connect before she dies. Meanwhile, it looks like E-Honda is actually going to die, but go ahead and pick up the kill on Karthus as well. And now it's Artsy Slash, who is on the run, is just going to run right into that spider. Shen coming in to help that taunt going down. That Aqua person not landing from Nami thanks to that stun, but Thresh is still going to die anyways.
It's very odd to see. Well, look, it was essentially 3 different fights going on, and in the end, the 2v2 was not strong enough. It was, I believe, you know, Thresh and Oriana going up against Renekton and Elise, maybe? Like, it was a weird combination, and it's not enough in the end. Possibly Nami, but they got into a weird position. They tried to go for a really good catch, but in the end became a 4v3, and Oriana still picking up a kill on Xiao, so very solid for E-Honda, but it's 3 kills given out, and very, very oddly, I don't think anybody from Aware knew that was going to happen, or could have possibly expected the 4v3. Because they were trying to be seeking themselves by seeking Thresh up there, and Shen Ultimate, of course, did not make it in time for Shyvana. Very odd, though. It's one of those weird plays where that fight seemed very slow because there were so many fights going on at once.
Absolutely, and now we're looking at a situation where Graves is forced to 2v1 down in the bot lane. Thresh coming up to try and help secure this dragon. The pinks are down to try and deny that vision as Nami comes up with a tidal wave. Vayne popping her ultimate, and unfortunately Go0 down very low. Despite the fact that Vayne has had to pop her barrier, she knows she's not going to get out of here. Thresh managing to pick up that kill, and now Renekton coming in and just wrecking face as Karthus picks up the kill on E-Honda. And there we go, the double kill coming out from Thresh. Karthus doing his best to pursue right now. Artsy Slash, he knows he's dead.
Artsy Slash was staying alive for a long time. Unfortunately, the double kill, both those kills end up going to Thresh in the end. So that much needed gold for Graves, that much needed gold for Oriana just not showing up there. And the fights are very odd. So Shyvana's damage was immense that fight, almost taking down Virus on his own. I think a lot of people just do not realize how much damage she can output with her remade abilities. You know, and at the same time also one of those people who really I'm not too sure how much damage she can output in a single burst. Still though, it was an unlucky tumble for Fakeson that cost him that collateral damage goal. Vayne could have died really early in the fight, but she tumbled coincidentally just to get out of the area as collateral damage came out, and it completely missed her, complete airball.
And more so than that, it looks like this may actually give the opportunity to go ahead and pick up Dragon right here. You can see Go0 coming in and managing to get that steal and the shockwave coming out from Oriana. Shen has been caught out here. He's not moving at all. He's going to actually end up falling here. Arc0 doing his best to get away as he places down that box. Very well placed, but now Karthus is in here doing his best to go ahead and just take down Arc0, but a nice intervention from Shyvana will go ahead and help her pick up the assist there. And Nami coming in and the double kill going to Karthus right now. Oriana doing her best. She should be able to very easily 1v1 this Nami. She's just pelting out those auto attacks. The Aqua Prison will land, but with Vision in that brush, she should be able to go ahead and pick him up. And it looks like E-Honda, are you going to get the kill? There's the last auto attack, and they will be able to pick up JD Wu.
Arc/Slash essentially slowed down Xiao in the Dragon Pit. I gotta say, Arc/Slash is impressing me more and more as this game goes on. Like, he did miss a death sentence, but that was just a Karthus and a Thresh fighting in the Dragon Pit. Thresh below level, and of course he's building HP, not building any damage, and he still dodged so many layaways that he was able to almost kill Xiao on his own. He does go down, of course, in the end. The ultimate was able to finish him off since he had no HP because he was a Thresh fighting a Karthus, and he should have honestly lost. Still, though, good enough as the Dragon pickup kind of evens out that fight. So in the end, it was actually 2 for 2. Overall, though, the goal difference hasn't really shifted much. I believe, actually, that there was still a slight lead for New World Eclipse, but now the game's still even, the game's still balanced. The question is, who will transition into the mid-game well? Thresh is apparently an unstoppable beast, but, you know, Quas is 4-0-2. Quas is an amazing player, has that Ravenous Hydra, has a great burst spell, and his damage will be immense compared to Hiroshine, who's just level 9.
Yeah, you can see now Renekton just looking to potentially proxy farm. As a matter of fact, that is exactly what he's doing. Shyvana's sitting around blue, so I'm curious to see how Aware is going to go ahead and respond to this. But Oriana's here too, and they're going to run right into Renekton. And there we go. Lots of damage being done to this poor Renekton here. He's going to do his best to try and get in here. The ultimate going down, and oh my goodness, that damage. Shen coming in mostly just for the save. They're not able to re-engage. They're going to go ahead and get Vision in here on this brush as Karthus is going to come out. The taunt going down, Shyvana ulting over the wall, and there we go. Renekton is just going to go ahead and do his best to get out of there. Karthus actually going to go down with the help of Oriana and Thresh.
I will say that looked really weird, but what did send Renekton over the wall was the slice and dice. The combination of Shyvana's ultimate and Renekton's slice and dice at the same second made it look like Shyvana pushed him out of that pit. But yeah, unfortunately, Karthus, not as tanky as Dr. Quas. Quas, he's got the Hydra, he's got his innate Renekton beefiness, and his burst, it really showed on Oriana there.
Oh, and there's a tidal wave going down in the bot lane, followed up by the box coming out from Thresh. That Aqua Prison will go ahead and take Graves down. The collateral damage not quite doing it as Shyvana comes in, the Condemn going down onto Graves, but it's not going to be enough as the last auto attack will go ahead and finish off Vayne. And now JD Wu looks to be in a world of trouble here. He's just going to go ahead and do his best to disengage at this point. Go0 not wanting to follow up on that.
You got to give props to Virus. He spent as much time as he could alive. That last second Condemn onto Graves over the wall almost saved him, but, you know, running from a Shyvana, running from a Thresh, running from even a Graves quick draw, just not an easy feat. As top lane, Hiroshine just being bullied by Quas. But
in the bot lane, we've got yet another fight breaking out. Go0 getting down very low, and it looks like Cloud. No, Karthus is actually going to be able to take him out, and Shyvana is gonna go down. Meanwhile, in mid lane, it looks like E-Honda has managed to take down a tower.
Top lane, Quas looking for the kill to Hiroshine. I'm just trying to be annoying. He's setting him up because Hiroshine now down so low in HP, just gonna have to retreat. That tower does go down for free. Now Hiroshine, he can either recall or waste more time trying to find a secure spot, but in the end, Quas just doesn't care. We'll continue to farm and push down the wave. This is what the Renekton we've been seeing lately. The Tiamat and the Hydra build just increases damage by so much, and it's getting so popular to make him a really efficient, almost assassin burst caster.
Yeah, I was really surprised in that team fight to see how much damage that he could actually do. It was really astonishing to see him just go in there and essentially 1v2 with no issue whatsoever and nearly pick up both kills, but it looks like he's actually been caught out here in the death sentence and is going to take quite a bit of damage getting down below half health, but that is going to be all that happens from that mid lane skirmish.
The thing is, because of the Ravenous Hydra build, let's see if we can't find the Renekton. I was going to do Race for a second because his lifesteal is amazing. Just watching it now, 42 for auto attack. He uses the Q, he uses the proc. He's already gained a good 400 HP in about 3 seconds. So that is the Ravenous Hydra in play. He will never be low on HP if he can just be near some farm, near a creep wave without being ganked. Ghost Hero only level 8, and this is kind of scary because Shyvana is not known to be a character who plays well from behind. She's one of those initiator style characters. She can get into a fight easily, but unlike someone, say, Shen, she needs to do stuff in that fight. She needs to be there DPSing with Burnout. Quas just gonna walk up to Hirsch, and Hirsch gonna realize it was a terrible mistake to walk anywhere near Quas, as that red buff might secure him this kill.
He's going to get down towards about half health here. Shen just looking to run away at this point. And Renekton, no problem. He's going to go back to farming. He wants to play it safe at this point. He doesn't want to worry about getting ganked or anything like that, it looks like. He's just going to go ahead and go back to farming. Or he's going to wait to go over the wall, and I'm going to eat my words as he's going to come in here, and there's the slice and dice. The stun going down, and Renekton doing his best to burst him down. You've got the ultimate coming out, and this is unfortunately going to spell the end of Shen. Have no doubt in your mind, despite that flash.
Alright, about your doubt.
I need to stop talking, just in general. I'm done. I give up.
Once the doubt, no doubt in your mind comes out, you know they're going to survive at that point.
Yep.
So if you want to root for a team Lunette, just go ahead, constantly say,
I
no
know
doubt they're
how
going
to
die.
make my team #1 LCS. I've got this. I've got this.
But it's an impressive flash, but what happens? The top tower dies. It's alright, you got Hirsch, and he's able to kind of chill, survive barely versus Renekton, but they're losing objectives, and frankly, Quas, I mean, they're losing Dragon for this. They just got a top tier 2 for that. That's a great trade. They lose a little bit of gold in the end. They're now behind by almost nothing. But because of the experience advantage on Quas, the less seen number, he's level 14, while the highest on Aware is level 12. New World Eclipse can just play around that and just kind of camp him up top lane, let him sit around and be a huge bully.
You also have to keep in mind what Aware is actually losing from some of these engagements between Renekton and Shen. Right now, one of the biggest things that they're losing is map control. That part of their jungle is no longer safe to traverse without being warded, and that's going to give them some good options around Baron. But now in the bot lane, we can see the collateral damage going out. Nami getting down very low, the double flash coming out, following up, and now Vayne in a world of pain as she's going to go ahead and actually get out of here. A nice tumble with her ultimate, and she's going to go ahead and get away. Shyvana and Oriana here to go ahead and respond, but it looks like they're just going to go ahead and push this lane.
I mean, that was smart of them not to fight. Vayne was probably going to die in the end, but making sure that Vayne did not end up in a situation where Karthus could finish them off. Very, very safe, very defensive, and of course can still pressure the tower. As they're now able to go ahead and almost clear that top, bottom tier 2 turret. I want to say top because it's higher up on the map, but it's really just on the bottom. So they do
I have that
it.
same issue.
Yeah. Bottom and top, kind of the same if you think about opposites.
Oh man, yeah, but more so than that, I mean, we're seeing Aware just, they have to respond to New World Eclipse at this point because Renekton is just going into these other lanes right now. You saw him in mid lane, they're just bullying towers. So while they've gotten this tier 2 tower up in bot lane, which is going to go ahead and help them out a bit and, really keep that gold count fairly even so nobody has some huge advantage, they're still going to lose out on map pressure if they don't find some way to curb this Renekton and quickly.
At this point, Renekton, he's out of control, but at the same time, they're keeping him in control by pressuring across the map. Like, alright, he can go for this inhibitor now. This is open, he can try and push it down, but with the way they've been playing on Aware, they take the bottom tier 2 in response. They've taken the mid tier just from the extended sieging from E Honda. They can just kind of do stuff across the map, and if his team can't hold, if Quas needs to be there for a fight, and he does have the majority of the gold on his team with an 8,500 gold pool total, if his team can't survive with him split pushing, he needs to be there, and that's what they want to do, even though fighting anyone near Quas is terrifying right now.
And that is an excellent point. You can see the pings going down. They know exactly where Renekton is, as he's going to go in and engage once again onto Shen, who's immediately going to regret being anywhere near there as a large chunk of his health suddenly disappears. And Vayne has managed to catch out Graves right now. That third proc of Silver Bolt's going down. She's going to go ahead and wait till he gets out of that brush, and Shen is coming in. The ultimate from Karthus going down. It's not quite enough, and it looks like JD Woo's actually been caught out here. That poor Nami is going to manage to get away, as well as Vayne. So it looks like everyone's actually going to go ahead and get out of here. Oh man, Vayne. Yeah, Vayne doing her best now to try and get away from Ghost Zeros. He's going to come up here, that dragon form coming in, and there we go. A lot of damage going down onto Vayne, but this may be a little bit far. Ghost Zero actually going to manage to get out of here. And now this tower is going to go down.
It's a base. It's not a base race, unfortunately. I was hoping for the base race, but now it's a quick base defense as all members have retreated. That was a 5-man sudden attack on that inhibitor. It does go down. They need to make something happen out of this.
And there's the box doing his best to go in, but that shockwave will go ahead and nab 3 members of... Oh my god, that shockwave was really impressive. I'm sorry, that was actually really good. Great disengage on the part of New World Eclipse, so they're going to go ahead and get out of there. And it looks like Aware Gaming is going to go ahead and be able to disengage as well.
Watching Quas just wander, kind of like doing the Renekton waddle onto that slow and not able to really secure anything. But that was a sudden play. That's smarts right there coming out from the team. That is the intelligence and the aptitude to quickly decide to essentially randomly push that turret down. Like, that was a crazy dive onto Vayne. They forced a flash out of her, but they very quickly realized, you know, we can get Vayne out of there. We can get Vayne to go back to base and have to heal. And then the second we do that, we'll be right by a tier 3 tower. No one will be guarding it because everybody in response tried to push mid. It seemed like the good option from New World Eclipse, push down mid lane while they're all faffing about trying to take down a Vayne, and guess what happens? They lose an inhibitor. And that was not an expected play. That was not something that you could easily pre-plan, but they very quickly adapted that. And like, once the chase kept going on, I got confused for a sec until they started taking down that turret. That was their goal the entire time. That was neat. That was cool to watch.
Yeah, that was an absolutely beautiful play on the part of Aware Gaming. And now we're looking at a situation where with that inhibitor down, all of those other lanes are going to start naturally pushing. But Renekton has managed to catch out Thresh here. He's going to be forced to flash over a wall. Gray's getting down very low. The barrier coming out. But that extra tower shot did Vayne in. Oh, man.
Us looking for kills. I mean, Artsy Slash might make it. Graves does not, though.
No, I was worried about the Thresh, and then Graves out of nowhere. The shockwave coming out, it's not going to manage to land. The shutdown bonus going through Renekton now. As Nami comes in, that tidal wave will manage to land onto Shyvana. That Aqua Prison is going to go down, and oh no, that's a triple kill for Renekton that they're going to go ahead and take home, and Baron off the back of this.
The defense of the Thresh did not work out in the end. They tried to play around that Thresh too much. They tried to make something happen with that fight, but it was Quas in a bunch of 1v1s, just one after another, essentially. You know, he almost kills Thresh when he finally chases him down. Oriana gets his attention. Kills her in 1v1 Thresh in the end, and just 1v1 after 1v1 into the back of Nami on the kill. Now, Hirshin, he doesn't have Smite. He can't really get this kill. He's going to try and make something happen.
No, it looks like he's just trying to disrupt this. Unfortunately, nothing is actually going to happen. Elise is going to go ahead and secure this, and he's going to be forced to run away only after getting stunned.
They probably could have killed him, but they wisely peeled back. They're afraid of Graves. They knew that there was going to be some response. They're still down an inhibitor. They still lack a little bit of map control, but now they have the fight control. Now, if a fight breaks out, it's going to be in their court. It's going to be how they want it to happen, because they have a Baron buff, and that's pretty mean and nasty on Elise, on Vayne, on pretty much everybody over on the side of New World Eclipse.
You know, this game has been very back and forth. Not even back and forth, it's been very even. We saw Aware Gaming manage to take out that inhibitor, and then immediately New World Eclipse was able to go ahead and pick up that Baron buff. And now things are kind of at that stalemate again. Both teams are going to wait for one of these objectives to go ahead and run out. That inhibitor to come back up and Baron buff to wear off. And I really think that we're going to be in the same position we were just a few minutes ago, where both of these teams, you know, no one has a real clear-cut advantage.
Quas is just so scary. I don't know what can kill Quas. I think that's going to be the big key factor, that Quas has 11,600 gold, and compare that to his lane opponent, who just has 7,000. It's a 4,600 gold advantage, and there's no one even in the 10,000 gold range for the enemy team. Karthus now hits 10,000. I think this is the moment where Renekton, he's just got so much damage and so much tankiness at this point. Shao playing Karthus, he's hitting these thresholds. He has Death Cap. He has the Void Staff. Now he does really high damage himself. I think they've reached their threshold to deal the immense damage they need to, and they scale in the late game much better with Vayne, Karthus, and now the Renekton that apparently is already at late game, already at late game, frankly.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, Renekton's just a beast at this point, but Vayne, in her own respect, is getting to the point where she needs to be at this point. She's got that Phantom Dancer, she's got that Blade of the Ruined King, so she's going to have that percentage-based physical damage coming out on top of the fact that she's got that true damage coming out from her Silver Bolts. So she's in a good spot right now. She's got the levels to really pull off a lot of fancy 1v1 tricks. The only difference is here is that she can't get caught out under that tower and take that additional shot again. That killed her the last time. Granted, Graves died also, but just not the best exchange there. I can't wait to see just an all-out 5v5, because that's not something we've seen in this game yet. It's just a full-on 5v5 battle of both teams.
And I don't know who wins that, because the Oriana, E-Honda's playing a fantastic game, does really high damage. At the same time, it's Karthus, it's the Renekton, they're in such good positions right now, but I do feel that Aware Gaming has a better teamfight comp. The question is, are they in a position where a teamfight would make sense? I think that New World Eclipse kind of realizes that. They know what can go wrong in a team fight, how Faction he can land his ultimate into a bunch of Oriana damage, into a Shen taunt, into a dragon landing on top of them, which has got to be painful. That's why they're playing it so far back. That's why they're playing it cautiously.
I imagine so, and it looks like Shen may be trying to catch somebody out here in a taunt, but that is not going to happen as Elise manages to land that stun. Now, Karthus and Vayne have both split off. These lanes are naturally pushing with the super minions, of course, in bot lane and in top lane. The increased health that minions get once an inhibitor goes down is not something to be messed around with. That lane was naturally pushing as well. So now, I mean, they were originally using Baron buff to go ahead and stall out that inhibitor. It is back up now, so now as we can see, they're going to be looking to go ahead and make more aggressive plays and get that map control that they desperately need.
And this is their chance to nail it with the Baron buff. It shouldn't last too much longer, unfortunately, but you know, they were able to hold off, they were able to survive, and just wait out the inhibitor being down. In last game, we saw how quickly a game can end once the inhib has disappeared. But now it's 12 to 15, only a 3-kill advantage, but is New World Eclipse at that late game potential? Are they at the point where their outscaling team has officially outscaled? Quas isn't there for the fight, though. If they do manage to start something up right now, I'd say the next 5 or so seconds, this could be huge for Aware, but they need the game, they need the fight right now, they need it ASAP.
Exactly. I mean, that's essentially what's going on. Aware needs to go ahead and pick a fight without Renekton being there, and for New World Eclipse, Renekton has to be there for them to win these fights. They've got a gold advantage right now, a very steady gold advantage, about 5.5k, which is fairly decent at 30 minutes into the game. It's not anything astonishing. They're not winning by like 10,000 gold or anything like that, but for a team that is down a base tower, it's not bad at all. They managed to have very, very solid control over their objectives, especially after they picked up that Baron buff. They knew that Dragon was important. They knew they needed that global gold. So, I don't know. I think if New World Eclipse went into a full-on 5v5, I think that they could go ahead and pull it off.
Could be their chance to really set something up. The Baron buff disappearing, this means the Baron play should be coming back soon. And I think this is the cool thing. Once a Baron buff goes down, a lot of teams' response is to kind of poke their head out and do something, because they now have a chance to. And this would be the chance for New World Eclipse to punish that if they do group up over on Aware Gaming. It's going to be rough, though. Shen's going to try and split push. Renekton, of course, can 1v1 him because he's level 18 versus level 15 and has just so much more gold than him. But still, that means there will be a constant threat to the side, and they need to find their opening. And both teams are just playing so passively. They could be waiting for the next Baron, they could be waiting for the next objective to really fight over, but I don't know. It's just more and more time that is going in favor of New World Eclipse. And Karthus is scaling, Vayne is scaling.
Yeah, you've got Renekton here. He's actually going to get caught out between towers, but not even bother with it. He's not taking hardly any damage at all. And now we see Oriana going in. That shockwave is going to go ahead and isolate Renekton. He's going to get down very low in the shutdown. Bonus is going to go ahead and go to Shen, who picks up the double kill. Karthus is going to go ahead and fire off his ultimate, but it looks like he's going to pick up the instantaneous double kill from the bot lane on the part of Aware Gaming, as now it looks like New World Eclipse is going to go ahead and try and hammer down this tower.
And Aware Gaming, they tried to fight that off well too. The second Karthus went down, the team dispersed, left that area where Karthus was, but it unfortunately was just not enough, and his damage is just too crazy at this point. I mean, Ghost here low on HP. I don't know if they can fight this virus also at full HP. This is a team without an AD carry, trying to defend against this, and I think Virus can do too much on his own, but they will be dispersing over on New World Eclipse, deciding, you know what, let's not go for the risky tower fight, let's go ahead, back up, relax, try and just play it out slowly. They're not in a rush, they're not in a hurry, they're now ahead by 6k gold. Why force anything? They're taking turrets, they're eventually gonna take Baron and probably win the game at the rate they've been playing.
Yeah, and that's going to be the real deciding factor, is going to be this next Baron buff. That's where we're going to see, if it happens, a full-on 5v5 fight. That's where we're going to see, I mean, essentially all the big plays made. Whoever gets Baron buff is going to be able to hammer down an inhibitor, maybe a Nexus tower, and eventually win the game off of that, if not multiple inhibitors. So you can see ArcZ Slash has gone ahead and picked up an Oracles. Everybody's looking to have that map control right now. They want to go ahead and have that vision control over Baron and really establish this now that it's back up.
They've got the Oracles burning, they've got the plan in mind, they've got the focus of what they want to do over on Aware. And New World Eclipse, they're thinking the exact same thing as JD Wu, rocking the pink eye. Don't touch his eye. We'll go with that. Don't shake his hand. It's probably pretty gross, but at this rate, you know, they're just gonna camp out here, and I think waiting for the first person to make a mistake, for the first person to see recalling, and the other team can make a move. Unfortunately, like, what it's coming down to is both teams want to play really passively, and Graves he's reaching a point where that 525 range and the fact that he's up against a Karthus who can punish that short range so well is coming into play just so heavily.
Yeah, and that's going to be a major issue for them. And now, New World Eclipse, the moment that they realized that Aware Gaming was grouping around Baron, they immediately recalled everybody from that bot lane, and everybody started transitioning up towards Baron. And now we're kind of just waiting for the inevitable. Everybody's going to kind of do this dance right now. Everyone's going back and forth, a little bit of poke, taking out the wards. And it's pretty much going to go like this for the next minute or two until somebody makes a mistake, somebody steps out of position, somebody engages.
Moment could be now. Everybody's grouped up. This is a standoff in the mid lane, in the jungle, at the Baron buff. Shen finally going for a split push. I think this might force something to happen, because Shen, even if he's off to the side, they can still fight. They can still force something to happen, and they're not too concerned about the actual Shen engagement, because, you know, the damage from Karthus is so high, the damage from Renekton is so high, and the tankiness just means that Shen needs to be there for the start of the fight. If he shows up late, shows up after 2 seconds, someone's probably already gone down at that point.
Exactly, and that's the big concern right now. Is Shen going to be able to get there before whoever he's targeting gets burst down? And if he targets somebody who's tankier in order to keep himself alive, is it really going to be worth it? You know, who's going to die because of that? So just a very precarious situation right now. Shen is doing, I mean, Shen has the right idea in mind, split pushing. He wants to go ahead and push up towards that inhibitor, but with everybody backing right now, I mean, Baron's not exactly an option, and everybody knows it. They've got the vision down, and it's a standoff. Everybody's going to recall, we're going to go back to Baron, and we're going to rinse and repeat this strategy.
It's not the worst strategy in the world, unfortunately not the most exciting. They're just... They just don't want to do anything on either side, because both sides are scared. If they can go ahead and make that play, something bad will happen. Both sides have good ways to initiate. In the case of Aware Gaming, they have Shen. In the case of New World Eclipse, they can just send Renekton. They can start team fights fairly easily on both sides. But New World Eclipse knows that, you know, Shyvana, Oriana, we mentioned that combo way back when, haven't seen it in too huge an effect. But that combo, if it does go down, that's an easy 5-man Oriana ultimate if Shyvana can surprise them. That's an easy follow-up Shen ultimate and Shen taunt on almost the entire team. That's an easy 5-man collateral damage, and they know the threat of the AoE team fight. They know there's that specific setup that if it lands will just be devastating. So in the World Eclipse, they play it passively, wait, and just looking for that opportunity to come on by.
And New World Eclipse has done a great job of essentially not grouping up in the matter that they're not all clustered together, so they're not going to get caught out in this huge mass of AoE ultimates. And in that respect, Aware has been doing the same thing, not wanting to get caught out by Karthus. But here we go, here's the engagement, the shockwave going down, followed by the box. Karthus will immediately get burst down, and the repel has gone out. There's the Aqua person going to go ahead and land down onto Graves. Zhongyi going out, and Karthus from the grave will manage to pick up Thresh's. Vayne is just wrecking right now. Just going to go ahead and take down Shyvana with the help of Renekton, as Renekton picks up the double kill, and now it is an all-out fight for Oriana, who is not going to get caught out in that Aqua person, but fall to a tumble auto attack from Vayne.
And that might be game. Thresh up at 25 seconds, but this is a full 4-man team. Well, I guess full is the right word, but a 4-man team pushing down that mid lane. Vayne's still alive. Vayne actually having incredible tower damage because of the double Phantom Dancer build Virus went for. And I think that's going to be all she wrote. I mean, it was a chance engaged. They had to make that play happen, though. They're running out of time. Vayne was going to outscale them. It did not work out in the end, unfortunately, for Aware Gaming. But you know what? They tried. It was a fun game to watch. It was a weird game to watch. I like to play from both sides.
Yeah, and Thresh, unfortunately, not going to be able to defend this. This is easily going to be the Nexus, and New World Eclipse is going to go ahead and take this home. It's a nice repel from Elise. We'll go ahead and preserve that KDA.
I will say, for a second, it almost looked like Thresh could do something, almost just short. As I have an excited spectator in the room now. Let's go ahead and check out that end game score screen. Any cool stats going on? Any cool builds? I love the double fan advancer from Vayne. Just the heavy attack speed build works so effectively against someone like Shen. But overall, mostly standard play, except double death cap on Karthus. Never mind that. That's awesome. But I think that double death cap was bought when he was dead at the last second.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. But I'm actually surprised at how common it's become, specifically in MCS. I haven't gotten a chance to watch any other recent high-level play. I've been kind of, concentrating on this. But this is the second time tonight I've seen a double Phantom Dancer Vayne, and I'm really, really enjoying how well it worked out.
It's working off the Silver Bolt procs. It's working off her sustained DPS. You can build that into a 6-item Vayne with Infinity Edge, which... Well, let's just look at the crit damage or crit chance. That's 60% critical strike chance plus the Infinity Edge, which is, like a billion crit damage and a billion% chance to crit, I believe is how it works out. Lunette, I believe, was this your last game, or are you going to follow this up?
Yeah, I was only stepping in to go ahead and give Dan a break from casting. I can only imagine what it's like casting all those games in a row. So I was just popping in and out real quick. I'm actually going to go and bug my lady friend over here for some League games. So I will see you later, studio.
Well, really quickly, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Oh, on the interwebs, of course. Well, you can go ahead and find me on Twitter at Lunette the Herald, and in League of Legends, Lunette the Herald, and on Skype at Lunette the Herald, and by email at, you guessed it, lunettetheherald@towerdive.tv. Go figure, you can find me at all of those places.
All right, well, people, go find her. As for now, we're taking a quick break. Should be back soon with the game. I believe EG80 feed should be back, so see y'all soon. And of course, shoutouts to iBuyPower, Fatality, and Razor for helping sponsor this awesome tournament.